Welcome to the Nevcast, where three bros talk business, art, justice, and the pursuit of Jesus.
Any day above ground is a good day.
Get ready to laugh, cry, and kiss 30 minutes goodbye with Peter Nevland,
Dave Nevland,
and
Rashid.
It's
Rashid.
Rashid.
Rashid. Gotcha.
We
How
are.
you doing?
Hey man, doing good. So we're back, and
Part two.
When last we spoke,
With Aaron
we
Elias.
were journeying to another dimension.
Yeah.
With Aaron Elias, and he was talking about his brother was having this experience, like going into God's presence, came out weeping, and then he said, and then that night he was like, whatever, I don't know what that was. I'm hitting a bong, and I'm getting high, and they were all. Was your brother doing that too? No, he wasn't doing that.
He was actually at work. Yeah.
He was at work.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was at work, but whoever else was at the house was doing pot on a bong. You said a 4 foot. Is it actually
3
4
foot.
feet?
It was a 3-footer.
3
It
foot.
clarified it was 3
Sorry,
foot to 4 foot.
a
I don't know.
3 foot bong.
They didn't get the 4-footer until I was actually stopping. After I was like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
That must have been a
They poured out the-
huge
Oh, yeah.
bowl.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How much? I mean, you must need so much pot for that.
Yeah, they had it.
Just thinking of the physics of it, not
I
trying to
guess so.
train people in drug use, but I'm pretty sure everybody out there.
And the
No,
ni-
they don't.
No,
in the-
they don't
in the
know.
They
90s
don't. Not everybody knows this.
Not everybody knows.
I mean,
this.
you and I hardly know it.
In the 90s, it was very easy to get pot too. So, yeah,
That's true.
very easy.
Rashid's laughing.
Rashid, does everybody know this about? I mean,
Rashid
if you have a
knows.
4 foot bong, you need a lot of pot for that, right?
No, you don't need a lot of pot.
Just
You
a
need a
little
little bit of bomb. You don't need a lot of pot. You actually need a little bit.
Oh.
You need less.
See,
for
that's
the
what
4
these
foot?
exist because you
Yeah.
can't get that much. And so, anyway, whatever.
Yeah, it's just a bowl.
But bomb, you just put like a little pinch of Reggie up in there. And you just put a little pinch of Reggie in there. You don't put a lot of Reggie in there.
Yeah, and then what's the steam makes it more.
No, what do we?
Wait, it's a
Just
bomb.
put a
dude.
little bit up in there, and it depends on if it's the good shit. So, if
Well,
it's
right.
the
Right.
good or the
If
bad.
it's,
and if
that's right. The good stuff, the bad stuff, but it's going to affect you more
Yeah,
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes into your system quicker. That's my point.
you get more smoke basically.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but
because it's focused. You're getting all of it coming up the tube.
but you're trying to figure out what's going on in this other dimension.
Yeah, and
What God's
running
doing
from
to
it.
you.
Yeah,
What-
and
yeah.
running from it. Too.
Oh.
yeah. Like I said, I'll backtrack. When I talked to my mom, she told me I needed to pray, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to pray because I knew what that would lead to. Right?
What in your mind would it
Yeah,
lead to?
what's that going
Let's
to
make
lead to?
this
It's like
obvious.
slippery slope or something, huh?
Oh no, well, yes, clearly the undoing of who I thought I was and what I thought I wanted to be.
Oh, God's will versus
God's
yours.
will versus mine.
So
Like,
what did you
I would
want to
have
be at that point?
I wanted to be what I am now, a musician, and just not have to answer for what I do. Just
Right.
I mean, the truth be told, I wanted to keep partying.
I want to keep partying. I want to do what I want.
I want to do what I want. Like I'm just living my life. I don't know what that stuff is, but keep it over there and let me just live my
Yeah.
dose of religion. So yeah,
I had
that's
an experience like that with my son this morning.
Yeah.
He's 3.
yeah.
Although he didn't want to keep partying, but he
His kind-
wanted to
his type-
control Alexa,
Yeah, his type of partying.
right? And he wants to be able to hit me if I tell him no. Sorry, you do not get away with that, buddy. I love you,
Yeah,
so you don't get away with that.
Yeah.
Which God is like, He loved
Exactly.
you, and He
couldn't
was
get away
like,
with
you
it.
cannot get away with
You're
this, Aaron.
destroying what my purpose truly is for you.
Come on.
Come on.
So
That's right.
I as I stated, all that was going on, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure, and went over to my homies Bo and Luke.
That's right, Bo and Luke. Right.
And,
you hopped in the general league.
yeah,
and you drove on over.
Say hi to Uncle Jesse.
it's funny. Yeah, it was actually like literally the apartments right across. I would cross through a fence and be at their place, basically.
All right.
And I went there, and like I said, we were letting it rip and just getting out there. And they were we were all sharing our church experiences. So
Okay.
we started sharing things that happened to us in church, and yeah, my parents did this, and they're always harping on me about whatever. I just got tired of it. I had to move around, and I would say it, and it was like, it was fine. But when I started hearing other people say it, I started getting convicted. It was kind of like you say, like another dimension was opening up of, look at what you're propagating, basically.
Wow.
Like, look at what you're condoning. Do you see what you're saying? Do you see what you're agreeing with? And I started seeing that. And, of course, smoking pot, it's a psychedelic, you know what I mean? Like, you start, like, especially if it's like Rashi was saying,
the good
if it's
stuff.
the good stuff, you're going to start seeing some stuff, right?
Right.
So,
or let's make it clear, the good shit.
right? So I was like, definitely feeling it, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? And I would say the first time that it happened, my brother, my older brother, he's well versed in music, and he's made some good music, and I was listening to one of his songs that he worked on, and it was like I was like I said, I was like super high, and it's kind of like how, I guess it's kind of like how Rashi is hearing me, like it sound like I'm in a barrel or whatever, right? Because I put the headphones on and I was listening to the song, and it was a R&B song,
Right.
and the lyrics were, I can't help it, I can't help the way I feel, right? And so whenever I was listening to it, it was like I went into a tunnel, and it just amplifies, like, can't help it.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh snap, what's happening? Like, what is this? And I took the headphones off really quickly and looked around like, hey man, what just happened, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm definitely experiencing something and I don't like it. So I try to hurry up and get home. I'm rushing home, and I'm like, hey man, what's happening, whatever, right? And as I'm going home, I put them back on because I'm like, okay, this is comforting me, but at the same time, it's freaking me out. But I'd rather have the comfort side of it more than the part I can be comforted more by it than the freaked out. So it helped me get home, and it was like, I can't help it. I can't help the way I feel. What I feel for you is real. So it's like he breathed on that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He breathed on it.
Was that
like,
song originally intended by your brother to be like a worship song or you know what I'm saying? Like a song to the Lord? Or was that it just so happened that God took those lyrics and was like, I'm going to speak through that to you.
Yeah.
And to back up, before that happened, it started happening in the apartment when I was just like getting super high. Like, I'm a Trekkie, so I watch all of Star Trek.
Wow.
The Next Generation.
Voyager.
Yeah, Voyager.
Deep Space
all of those.
Nine.
Yeah, exactly. Andromeda, all that. I would be watching
Andromeda.
that. Yeah, we would be sitting
Enterprise.
there just like watching that. And it was the episode, I don't know, somebody out there would know this episode. That's a Trekkie. It was when Worf was trying to find his father.
Oh, I remember this.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So he was trying to find his father, and I forget who it was. It wasn't Picard. It was the guy with the nice beard.
Mm-hmm. That's Jonathan Frakes. Number one.
Yeah.
Whatever his
Riker.
name is. Riker.
Will Riker.
Yeah, it is. Okay. So he...
Commander Riker. Not Will.
Commander, yeah.
Yeah, Will. His Will. That's
yeah,
right.
his Will is his first name.
So
Commander Riker.
he told him, like, straight up, he was like, hey, I could be wrong, but I was super high. But he told him straight up, he was like, you'll never know who you are unless you know your father. And so that wrecked me.
Wow.
That wrecked me. And I was like, I gotta go. Deuce. Right?
Wow.
So I walked out and put the headphones on and started listening
But
to
that was on the TV.
That was on the TV, bro. That was on the TV.
That was on the TV, and Worf's like, Kepler Ka.
Yes.
You know,
yes,
whatever.
Straight up. Just came alive. Like, just the sword just came and got me and cut.
Yeah.
Divided asunder. So,
amazing. I just want to make this a bigger point.
Yeah.
Because I've had conversations recently. I had a partner of mine, business guy that I work with, and I was talking to some clients, and he asked, "How do you what's it like when you hear the voice of God?
Mm.
You know, he's like, is it like this audible thing? I was like, well, most of the time, no. It could be.
Yeah.
I've heard that happen and stuff. Most of the time, no. It's this other stuff. But then sometimes, like, I might be in a movie.
True.
And someone says something in the movie, and all of a sudden, I just know the Holy Spirit's talking to me through what's happened in the movie, and I just sense something. Now, for you, it was like, you're watching, I mean, come on, Star Trek The Next Generation, not exactly your go-to source for hearing the voice of God, but God's like, hey, man, I can use anything.
Yeah.
And God, all of a sudden, it's like when God speaks to you. Now, at the first time, as he starts doing it at the beginning,
Right.
he's really loud because he's got to get your attention.
True.
But as time goes on, it gets quieter and quieter, and you don't need nearly as much because you're already looking for him. Dave explained it as this, like, you've got this little, like, radar dish that's inside your soul, and it's constantly looking all around, and it's going, you know, where I'm listening for the sound of the Holy Spirit, and every time it hears it, it goes, what is that?
Yeah.
And it's like activates and starts.
It's kind of a sound smell.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, but so that happened, and I mean that happened in this song.
Yeah.
Started playing this sound, and God just is like, "Oh no, I'm going to talk to you right now.
Yeah.
I'll use whatever I need to use in order to get your attention to know that you need to know me,
Right.
and that you know what you feel for me is real,
Right.
and
Exactly.
what I feel for you is more real than
than
anything that you feel for me."
Exactly. Yeah, and to even bring more clarification, I was running, so he was going to use any means necessary.
You were actually running, physically running.
No,
Well, he was
But you were
trying to
running
get
from
away.
God.
He was
So
trying to get
God's
away.
like coming
And-
after. He's like
and
chasing
definitely-
Jonah.
It's the prodigal
Yes,
father
yeah,
running after you.
You need to
definitely.
be swallowed by a fish. I can do that too.
Yeah, and I definitely picked up my pace when that happened. I did start kind of like running towards the house, like,
Right.
what's happening? They're coming for me, and I can't get away from it.
Wow.
But like I said, to bring the clarity that I was running, as well as like you have a son, I have a son, I have a daughter. I don't know if you have a daughter, but
I have a daughter too.
Yeah, you have a daughter
She's
too.
Almost 8 months. Actually,
But-
8 months today.
But like if they're headed towards danger, your voice isn't like, hey.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He yells at you.
That's right.
Yeah. It's like Aslan
Yes.
roaring
Yes.
in the,
Yeah.
close by.
Hey,
Keep him from
you're-
falling off the
you're
cliff.
about to go. You're done. You're like, if you don't listen to me now, you're done. I'm raising my voice so you can know that there's imminent danger for you. So
Thank you, God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen to that. So like I said, that happened. I was trying to hurry up and get home. I got home and in my quarters of what I call a safe haven. So of course, when you get safe again, it's like when it's not love, it only lasts as long as the fear is there. Once
That's
the
right.
fear is gone, you're like, you know. So after that, I got into a band. I got into a band. I moved out with my brother.
Oh, that's so funny. It's so funny. It's about to be funny for us too,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's funny for you.
I know, right? Okay.
Yeah.
There's a story
So-
coming.
So I left my brother's house after those episodes were happening, and of course, you know, if he can do it easier because it's 2 seeds there that he needs to, and so he's killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? So he's just interjecting his presence in that house, and it's boom hitting both of us.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get out of here and go over here, right? So I go with a band. They're from Louisiana, and we start a band. I'm the drummer, and the bass player's on tour. They call him. He's in Japan. They call him. He comes. They're like, you gotta jam with this drummer, dude. You gotta jam with him. And
You.
yeah, with me. Yeah, and he has the coolest name. His name was Sidney Hydro.
Sydney Hydro.
Oh man, he was a dope bass player.
Wow.
So he comes.
Victor Wooten quality kind of?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
easy. Yeah, easy. I
Wow.
mean, he's toured in Japan.
Well,
Like,
that's-
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Japan definitely eats up Americans' music, but like, yeah, you can't
Right.
be there doing it and surviving.
I hear
basically.
you. I hear you.
But the point was he came over, we jammed. He was like, "Yes, I'm coming off tour. We're gonna do this." So he got off tour, and we named our band. The reason why I laughed was Heavy Planets,
Heavy Planet.
but because of the simple fact that those are the last planets to a line.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Like
So-
yeah, Jupiter,
Yes,
Saturn, Neptune,
yes.
Right.
Yeah. So
Uranus. You gotta watch
yeah,
out with that one.
yeah, right, exactly. So when the planets align, I was very cosmic in watching, scientifical things, whatever, right? Sciences. And I was like, when the planets align, that's it. That's when it is. So we'll be the last ones to align, right?
Okay.
So, you get
That's
it?
cool.
That-
That's cool.
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
funny because it
concept.
happened in the 60s, that whole age of Aquarius, and
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was
yeah.
a planetary alignment.
Alignment,
and
right.
nothing
Yeah.
happened.
And we
But
were
anyway,
we were
Oh, well,
very,
we shot some satellites out there. That's
Well,
why we
that's-
did it, so that it made it easy to see them all. Yeah,
oh,
anyways.
right on,
That's
right
why
on.
Voyager went
V'ger.
past.
V'ger.
Yeah, you're a Trek. You know,
V'ger.
a Trekker.
It's funny.
Okay,
But,
sorry.
Star Trek 1.
But yeah, that is what I did that, and not knowing that he's just using me prophetically,
Right.
I am, because it's clear that it's very, very close to the return of Christ, and like we are the last ones to align to bring in the bride. Bring in the groom,
Right.
the bridegroom. So that's what I was doing in that sense of just like not knowing it, but I jammed with him, and we were, like you said, very 60s oriented. Like the Doors were our influence.
Right.
Nights in White Satin, and listening to that type of stuff, and producing it in our spin. That and U2 at that time.
Oh, really?
They were really like the big thing in the
Yeah,
early
Joshua
90s.
Tree.
Joshua Tree,
Yeah.
Sure.
all of that. In God's Country, that all that stuff. So we had a nice little unique thing. The guitarist was actually creating new notes. I never knew you could do that, but
Okay.
there's a way to create new notes.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Okay.
weird. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Okay.
But you can. And he was building structured things like, this is a new note. And I was like, okay. So that was a little trippy too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, yeah, we definitely got something unique here, right?
Mhm.
So I was doing that and living with him, and as I said, Sid came. We all had like a 1-bedroom apartment, sleeping on the couch, sleeping
Right.
had a bed in the dining room area, right?
Right.
And just crashing there, and just lost a taste for everything. I couldn't eat anymore.
Wow.
I couldn't. I didn't want to do anything. I was smoking at the time. I stopped smoking. Like everything just fell away. Like I was like, okay, this doesn't satisfy me anymore. Like
Nothing satisfies
nothing.
you.
You lose
Food
your
did.
taste. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like I forget what book it is, but in one of the books of the prophet said, whatever you eat, it won't satisfy you. You'll
Yes.
be eating, is just you won't be satisfied.
Yeah.
So that's what it was like to me, and whatever I did, I couldn't drink, I couldn't do anything, and occasionally have a cup of water or whatever, it'd be all right, but like not too much, because it was just like, this is too much. It's like I can't, I was full basically.
Interesting.
So I started fasting, and
Okay.
when I was younger, my dad had us fast half a day, and I was young. So he would just be like, till 12, make it to 12. Y'all got up early, make it to 12. You're good. After 12, y'all can eat. And
Okay.
I was like, okay, yeah. So we lived for 12 o'clock, right?
Okay.
Sure.
As a child.
Sure.
So, but it instilled into me to fast.
Okay.
So when I got that feeling, I was like, well, I must need to fast. Still no concept of
Yeah.
what it's going to do.
Right.
I'm like, okay, that's safe. Just don't eat,
Right.
But had no concept that it draws you closer to them, right?
Yeah, it draws you closer to God.
So-
Fasting. Sure.
So I started fasting. I got through 3 days, and they were a little concerned because I wasn't eating for 3 days.
Yeah.
So I was just drinking water. So they took me to Country Kitchen. I think that's what
Oh,
it's
yeah.
called.
I know Country Kitchen.
Yeah. They took me to Country Kitchen
Yeah.
because like I love soul food, Southern food, whatever, right? So they took me there, to, like one of the favorite places I would like to eat, and I still was like, I'm sorry, guys, I just can't do it. And they were like, well, have some coffee, man. We know you like coffee, because that was like my advice as well. Like, have a blunt and smoking coffee or a joint or a cigarette and some
Yeah.
coffee.
Right.
And I was like, tried to drink the coffee, just couldn't do it. I was like, it just doesn't taste right. I'm sorry. Water. And so we come back to the apartment, and we had a van, and we get out, and we're talking, conversing, saying, whatever. And looking at the sky, looking at the stars in the sky, right? I'm looking at it, and I had an epiphany. I was like, wow. Because, like I said, I would watch Nova on PBS or whatever, right? I had the epiphany of that light from that star is still coming to us, but it could be very well burned out.
Right.
Right?
It might already be dead.
It might be already dead,
Yeah.
And most likely it is because we're so far away,
Yeah.
right? So as you can see, the propheticness of that, the prophetic stance of that is how far are we from God, right? So it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I had the epiphany of, oh no, and I just broke right there and started crying and weeping.
Wow.
And I started weeping for their souls. I was like, I don't want you to go to hell. Never had that in me to say at all.
For the guys in the band. You're
For the
weeping for the guys in the band, not wanting them to go to hell, even though you're like kind of on the way there, running from God.
So the compassion and conviction, a holy conviction, came upon me of your souls are going to go to hell and you will not make it, right? So I had the encounter, started weeping and crying for them. They're like, this dude is having a nervous breakdown.
Sure.
He hasn't eaten for 3 days. Something's wrong with this guy. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. We are so far from God, right? Like we are far away from him. What are we doing, right?
You're like, brother, stop tripping.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
right,
That's
sure.
exactly what because they're like comfortable and safe in their sins, they think,
Right.
So, of course, this went on for days of me just weeping uncontrollably in the house.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting on the couch, and I had a Bible. I don't know where I got that Bible from, but I had a Bible. I don't know if it was like someone gave it to me. I don't know, but I had a Bible, and I don't know where it came. It was mine.
Yeah.
And the reason I know it's mine is because the bass player that came off Sydney, the guy that came off tour, I was reading. I was just eating it, just like all day, all night, just reading. Couldn't stop.
Wow.
I was famished.
Right.
My
Spiritually,
soul was, my soul was just like, oh, I need this. So he saw me doing that, and he was like, you know what, man? I know that's your only Bible, but man, I've never picked up the Bible or read it. I've never done that. I've never even attempted. Do you think I could get that Bible? And I was like, you know what? Yeah.
Wow. That's
Go
cool.
ahead.
Right.
And so he started reading the Bible because of that, right?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
he started reading the Bible, and he became like acquainted with, I guess, what I was going through because they moved. They were like, we're done here, and they moved back to Louisiana. So I'm in the house, like the lease was going to be up in a month. So I stayed there another month, not knowing where I was going to go. Like it was paid for another month. They wanted me to come with them, and I was like, I can't go to Louisiana. There's nothing there for me. Like my family, everything is here. So they left. We said our goodbyes or whatever, And of course, they were probably impacted by that. How much I don't know because I haven't talked to them since.
Wow.
I don't know where they are. I don't know where
That's
they
crazy.
are. I've seen them, but I haven't seen them. You know what I mean? Like I've seen them. Like I tried to come back a few years to see if they were still like around, and they're like, nah, they went to Louisiana. They didn't come back. They said they were going to come back, but they didn't. So, as I stated, I stayed there at that house, and I was I was dating a girl at the time. Her name was Summer Lily.
All right, so you're dating Summer Lily.
Yeah, and I'm thinking she's the one,
Right.
And whatever,
Now, can I ask this?
Go ahead.
Was she white or was she black?
Oh,
Or was she
definitely.
Asian? Or was she Hispanic?
She was actually, I don't know her actual.
She was mixed.
Yeah.
Mixed race.
Yeah, but definitely of the Caucasian.
Okay, more Caucasian.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
interested in
Yeah.
what color were her parents to name her Summer Lily?
Yeah.
Right now you can get all kinds, right? It could
Right,
be
right.
it could be all over the
Sure,
place.
for
But
sure.
typically,
Yeah, typically.
most
like-
of the girls that are named these
Like
hippie
in the
names are
70s
white
and the
girls.
60s, it was a lot of different, it was
That's
a
right.
lot of melting
Plants.
pot, basically,
Shoot,
yeah.
man.
Plants
you
in
know,
nature.
Yeah.
hey, Jimi Hendrix was a huge hippie, right?
Right, for sure.
You
for
had a
sure.
lot of,
Yeah.
but a lot of white people.
Yeah. And, I never heard of Jimmy until I was like 18.
Are you serious?
Yes, dude. And it blew my little lid. I was like, who is this?
You
Yeah.
didn't know who Jimi
I
Hendrix
didn't know
was?
who
That's
he was.
amazing
like,
until he's
yeah.
18.
I mean, but being that I was raised and
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
right, that's true in the church.
and that would definitely a huge no.
Oh, of course.
Listening to that's demonic or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
But anyways, the point being, what got me to the point of all of this was I definitely took a trip. I don't know if you know what vitamin C, they call it vitamin C. You know what vitamin C is?
Vitamin C.
Well, not what you're talking about.
I don't know the drug called vitamin C.
No, they call it vitamin C because you take a lot of vitamin C to keep you tripping.
Oh, to
basically.
keep you tripping.
Yeah,
so this is LSD?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay,
Yes, sir.
that's what I thought.
So
The book called Vitamin C.
Yeah, the drug it's not called vitamin C. They refer to vitamin C as LSD because you got to take a lot of vitamin C to keep you tripping, going on the high.
Yeah.
Rashid, you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what. That's what.
back in the day.
See, you don't know this, but Rashid said one of the things Rashid said when he met me at first he thought I was a cop,
Yeah, of course.
right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, and then I thought you were one of those white boys that has access to the good drugs like Valiums and shrooms and stuff. But I guess LSD probably would have been one of those.
One
Is
of
that
those good
is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
acid. That's what they call
Acid,
it.
yeah, acid. That's
Acid,
right.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
about
yeah.
acid, LSD,
Yeah.
acid. But so vitamin C, okay.
Yeah. So I had done that.
You've done a trip of LSD.
Yeah. So like we went to a party, got it from Bo.
From
Luke.
Bo.
Yeah.
Bo
got
and
it from
Luke.
And did the I did it first. And it was around my birthday or whatever. And it was a little bit after my birthday. And when I did that, I had a huge like I always took it. I kind of took it like candy, but never to that magnitude. It was like a triple dip purple
Whoa.
microdot. Right?
Oh, okay.
So
Wow,
I took
so
one
that's
of
a
those.
lot.
Yeah.
That's a
So I took that one, and it was not a little small strip. It was like a strip. You know?
Oh,
Well,
yeah. I took it. Yeah.
Okay, so
So-
now we got like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we gotta.
I'm gonna wrap it up.
Okay, I'm not trying to say wrap it up, but I want to get to the good stuff because I have a couple questions.
Okay. So I took that, and I immediately regretted it after it started kicking in. Of course.
Uh huh.
Because it was like, there was no you're done, and I was actually went upstairs to their neighbor, Bo and Luke's neighbor, and had no clue of what was going on, but he ended up being a drag queen, and so that stuff started happening. I was like, okay, deuces, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
left. So like a lot happened to bring me to that point to see. Like I was hearing very clearly what was happening. And I was like, oh, you're trying to get in their head. Oh, wait a minute, you're trying to get in our head. Bye, right? So I left and told my brother, don't take it. Don't do it. Whatever you do, don't take that.
Take
right?
that.
Like I saw I was seeing all kind of visuals. Like it could have been a ghetto bird. I don't know if you're a ghetto bird. A ghetto bird is a helicopter with the light
Right.
looking for people.
Okay.
It could have been that, but it seemed like it was right there on me,
Right.
and I couldn't shake it. So I was sitting on the stairs. I was like, oh, they're coming for me. Like they're gonna get me, right? So
And God's like, I can use
anything. Exactly. So
Get your
I went
attention.
through the scale of the procession of my family of you got to do this. Your father started it. Your brother's here. This and this, and it's your turn. Like you got to step up now. You can no longer run. You got to step up to the plate because it's on you now. So that happened, and my brother was trying to get me go on a ride. Of course, since I was raised in time, he had on an army shirt, and he's my big brother, and that's what they referred to the government, Big Brother, you know.
Right,
So
right,
like,
right.
Big Brother's coming to get me with his army shirt, and I was freaking out. And I was like, nah.
While you're on an LSD
Yeah,
trip,
yeah,
right?
while I'm on a trip. So it's like super intense. So moving from that, that's when I was at that house and, you know, dating the lady, and I was hearing weird stuff, and I was like, you know, it was like he was calling me, beckoning me, and he was like, "Come, go over here," and I was like, "I can't do that because I don't know what that is," and I was like, "I feel like I'm supposed to go out of the door," and I was talking to her, and she was like, "You don't know what that is, you don't know who that is, don't open that door because you don't know what you could be letting in. There's all kind of freaky stuff out there," and of course, being that she was a hippie, her parents were hippies. She knew about tarot cards. She knew about, you know,
Right, she knew
reading
about
palms,
spiritual reality.
Yes, she knew about that stuff.
Yeah.
So she's like, "You don't know what that is. You haven't tried it. You don't know. You haven't tested that. So don't just be listening to anything and going." So I was listening to her and just like, okay, cool. So I went and moved back in with her, was there, started having even more intense like encounters with her there. And I'm like freaking out. Like, it's kind of like Paul says, I don't know if I was in the spirit or, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Or in
I don't
the
know if
physical
it,
world,
yeah, I don't know what happened, but to me, I don't want to like drum it up, but it was kind of like eyes were looking at me, like huge eyes, or that's what I felt. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if you even saw it, but
And
that's
this is
what
over a period of how long?
oh man, years
Of years of
yeah,
living
like-
with this girl.
Oh yeah, I dated her. Well, I dated her for like almost a year.
Almost a year.
But I
Okay.
moved in with her, and immediately the encounter started.
And the
happening.
encounter started
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
God's like, come
Come
on,
on,
get
bro,
out.
get out of
So
there, yeah.
when did this finally, what
Yeah.
was the
What-
thing
what-
that,
that brought me to is that I told her that I wanted. It was a church that that building is no longer there. I told her, I was like, I think I should start going to church, and I went to one called Agape in
Okay.
Arlington first.
yeah?
And the Lord started showing me stuff about that church, and I was like, whoa. And 15 years later, it actually came true what he showed me.
Wow.
It was like the guy was like drugging little
Yes.
girls, and
Yes.
you know what I'm
I
talking
know,
about.
I've heard of that
You
church.
heard that church,
That,
yeah.
that went
Yeah.
down, yeah.
Yeah. So I told
Wow.
them that 15, 20 years before it happened,
Jeez.
and no one listened to me. I was the crazy guy.
Oh, goodness.
So I moved to Calvary. That's pretty
Oh.
cool. But I moved to Calvary and
Right.
went there, and she was like, I don't want to go to that church. And I talked to my dad. My dad definitely flowed in the prophetic, and he was like, "Oh, so you're going to jump out of the skillet into the fire, huh?" And I was like, I had no idea what he meant. But that church was definitely had some stuff going on too, and I had no idea, and undertones. And she didn't want me to go to that church because she could see that it was going to be the demise of what the Lord was doing in me, right? But I had no concept for that. I had no concept.
And
for
she
that.
did.
She did,
She
and that's
did.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
A little
that's
bit.
crazy.
Because she wasn't the one for me.
Uh-huh.
And even when I was with her, I was still in very much sin.
And yet she was concerned for
she
you
was concerned
and
for my
wanted
soul.
God to be doing what he was
Yes.
doing in your life.
Yes, and that's pretty
amazing.
tripped out. And it's clear she clearly wasn't the one for me because she wanted to have nothing to do with church.
Man.
So yeah, but you know he used a
Man.
donkey, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he used a donkey.
Right.
So I mean, and I was pretty much of a jackass at that time too. So,
Yeah.
running from him, even though
Right.
he's keeping me safe.
Hey, we've all been a jackass.
Right.
At one point or another. That's for sure.
So that brought me around going through that, and like being at that place, it was kind of like I went to Bible college there.
Okay.
I got into the Bible college, and because I played the drums, they said play the drums for us morning and night, and it'll pay for your scholarship. Because it was a morning session and a night session, so I did
Okay.
that. I helped in the singles
Wow.
ministry. I helped in the children's ministry, and like just started just trying to live the life of what I'm called to be, and it brought me through everything that I went through. That church actually got hit by a tornado, twin tornadoes spinning around
Right.
it. I tried to warn of that too, and they were like not wanting to listen
I
to
mean,
me. Yeah,
you're
it's
seeing a
crazy.
whole lot of stuff before it happens.
Yes,
Still, and that's still today.
yes, that's still today.
So
yeah.
so that was my question. So
Yeah.
okay, so you start following the Lord. Bible college happened. The encounters with God Did they lessen,
Oh no.
or did they've increased?
Oh yeah.
But it's almost like, how would you describe your ability to handle them, and what
Oh,
has
yeah.
enabled you to handle them so you're not tripping out about them anymore?
And there's still times like, of course, when his presence comes, you're not going to be able
Sure.
to handle it, right?
Right. Yep.
So yeah, it depends on what he's trying to show you
Sure.
and the magnitude of it, of what your body will do, or how you will react to that. So yeah, like to be like specific, when I was at that church, it was a singles ministry that I played the drums in, and the pastor's wife came, and both of them were pastors, and
Yeah.
she came and told me, she was like, "Oh yeah, just so you know, like I got stuck to the floor. That was like the first time I got stuck to the floor.
Oh,
when I
yes.
got
Yeah.
prayer.
Yep.
So I got stuck to the floor. I was like, the weighty presence of God was on me. I
Yes.
couldn't move, and she was like, just so you know, the Lord says that for the next 9 months, you're going to have supernatural encounters. I'm like, what kind of encounters are these going to be? I'm already having
Yeah.
some, like,
I've been
Wow.
having
That's what I'm
supernatural
saying.
encounters for the last 9 years. What are you talking about? Next 9 months? What am I going to be
so,
like?
yeah, what's going to happen here? And yeah, and the word was true. I started having some tripped out stuff. Like I made vows to the Lord, and I told him I was going to read every day, and I didn't. And like they came for me. Like entities came for me, was dragging me through that
Man.
house. Yeah, like you made a vow,
Wow.
and I was screaming, "Okay, I'll do it."
Wow.
Wow.
Woke up. Another crazy thing I saw in the window, angel. I'm thinking that I'm like going into whatever, but I'm praying all night and reading and praying all night because that's all I knew, like to keep myself sane, to keep myself stable,
Right.
because
Yeah.
I literally gave away everything. I just tossed it out, and it's like I don't know what to do. You said give away everything, so I gave away everything. And my sister was like, "Come live with me. You gave everything away. I know God has done something to you
Wow.
because the type of person that
Wow.
you used to be."
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So she's like, "Come live with me." So I'm sitting there and I'm praying, and I look out the window, and I'm thinking, I'm just looking, and I go into another vision and it's this huge, angel there, and he's talking to me. He's like, "Hey, yeah, you're gonna go through some stuff," and da 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 da. And I'm thinking, I'm just like, "Oh, I daydreamed or I went to sleep." But as time progressed, I knew the walls turned into fire in my room as I was praying. I
Okay.
went into another dimension. Like it was
So
just
when
crazy stuff.
when the angel spoke to you, did you have the sense that he cared for you?
Yeah,
So you
Yeah.
could feel that.
that was
You
like
could
my
feel the
angel.
caring.
Yeah, it was like my angel to like he assigns us with angels, right?
All right. So
Man.
I want to ask this question, and I think that it'd be really good. I feel like as you've been speaking, I was just having this sense just a little bit ago, talking about trippy things happening.
Right.
All of a sudden, it felt like things were getting kind of dark. Did you feel that too?
Okay.
I don't know if you did or not,
Yeah.
but I felt like things were getting dark
Yeah.
in here while you were talking.
Yeah.
And I was asking the Lord, like, what's going on? I felt like the Lord said there are people that may be out there listening. I know we don't have a ton of people that
Right.
listen or watch this, but maybe people are going to watch,
Yeah.
or people be out there listening. And as you're listening, that it's almost as if you're like, no way, I want to run from this, or I've had this happen and I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Right.
And you're being lied to, and not by the Lord, you're being lied to by the enemy, telling you got to get away.
Right.
You got to say no to this stuff. The normal world is what you need to stay in. All this kind of stuff. What would you say to somebody who is maybe struggling with that and feels like all these distractions are coming, trying to pull them away from what God's saying to them? How can one, they know that it's God speaking to them whenever God's speaking, and two, what's the best way that you've found to respond to these kinds of encounters, and and then to apply that to their lives? Is that a fair enough question?
Yeah,
Can you answer those two things?
Well, I would have to say it's a work in progress.
Okay.
I can't say that I have all the answers because,
Sure, of course.
as I said, each time that he comes is different. Just that's why I believe his mercies are new every morning. So whatever he's going to take us through, we can have the mercy to receive it and walk it out.
Right.
So in the sense of acceptance, I would say die to every preconceived notion that you think that you have about what's happening,
Oh.
because he knows everything.
Yeah.
So regardless of how afraid that you are, you have to die to that too, and basically just melt into the trust of who he is, that he is a good father and that he will get you there.
All right. And so then how do you know that it's God? How do you distinguish between the evil things that are trying to pull you away and God's voice that's trying to pull you to himself?
Well, that's a loaded question too, because of the fact that he uses everything.
Right.
So he could be using that fear to get you to understand that you need him.
But it's not in the characteristics of how you're hearing
Yeah.
his voice.
Exactly.
What is it in?
It would be the peace that he would bring you
Okay.
but you have to let go, because if you fight, like if someone's drowning,
That's
you
true.
know, when they fight, it makes it, even
Makes
though
it
you're trying to
worse.
save them. So I would say you have to let go. You literally have to be still and know that he's God. And when you do that and you accept that he is for you, even when their fear is there, even when you don't know, seems like the bottom is falling out, if you accept that he truly is there, the fear will dissipate, because
That's
he's not
good.
the author of
Yeah.
confusion, or he doesn't give us fear, but power, love, and soundness. That's what you can rely on, that he's going to give you the soundness that you need.
That's awesome. So I just want to reiterate that, and I can back it up. Psalm 4. I've been in this a lot lately. And Psalm 4, the New King James says, "Be angry and do not sin." The actual word there is be agitated.
Yeah.
So if God is agitating you,
Right.
if he is stirring up all these things around you,
Deep calls to deep.
it's okay to be agitated, to be feeling like things are kind of coming a little bit unhinged, coming a little bit out of control. Here's how you do that without sinning. And actually, you need to be able to do that so you won't sin, because if you are not able to be agitated or angry with the Lord, you'll take it out on whoever's around you.
Right.
And it says, this next verse after that says, meditate within your heart on your bed and be still. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord. Put your trust in the Lord. And then it says, many are saying, who will show us any good?
Right.
Lord, lift up the light of your countenance upon us. Show us your face. If you show us your face and we see what you're like, and we see how you look at us and the way that you're captivated with desire for us, the way that you're in love with us, that will change everything. And then it says, you have made me glad.
Right.
More than when grain and when new wine increase. In other words, more than when I'm getting the best circumstances in my life, more than when everything's going right.
Yeah.
And so then it says, I will lie down and sleep in peace, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety.
Yeah.
So I just want to speak that word. If you're out there and you're hearing this and things are getting agitated, go to him. Let him love you.
It's good.
Let his peace come after you. Surrender to it, like Aaron's talking about, and let him wash you with his love.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, he will heal your heart.
Mm.
He's healing
Come
my
on.
heart right now.
Come on.
He wants to heal your heart. He wants to love you.
Yeah.
He wants to take you under his wings. Those angel feathers, they're not just feathers because, they can fly. They're feathers because they'll keep you safe.
Right.
Yeah.
God's feathers, his angel feathers, he will keep you safe, and he will cover you, and he wants to love you and nourish you and give you a hope and give you a future and give you a plan.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that is God's heart for you.
Yeah.
Aaron, thank you.
Yeah, man, this
Thank you.
piece,
Thank
I didn't know all of this about you, but this piece marks you. I mean, it comes out of you all the time. It's what I know. It's what I know about you. And I thought we were going to start with that and talk about society and how, you know, how to hear God's voice in society.
Well, I don't know. We'll
what's
just have to
going
have
on.
Aaron back again.
Exactly. That's right. That's right. So this is an awesome foundation
Right on.
for Aaron Elias.
But man, thank you, Dave and Aaron and Rashi, and thank you everybody tuning in. Join us next time
Come
on the
on.
Nevcast.
Come on.
And if you have any stories, feel free to send them our way. We'd love to hear from you. And
Any
may the
questions
Lord-
for Aaron even, really?
questions for Aaron too. May the Lord bless you, and
Yeah.
may He pursue you and overtake you with His love.
That's it for the Nevcast this time. Join us next week when we talk justice, business, and art in pursuit of Jesus. We will see you soon.